Welcome to the Productivity Podcast. We are here in audio and visual today, and there's only two of us because James is on holiday, so it's just me and Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hi.
So broadcasting live from Rethink Towers, we're going to today take you through some information that you might find useful if you're looking to validate business cases, find out a bit more about productivity, have a specific user case in mind. All that great information's on our website, rethinkproductivity.co.uk. But Sue's just going to take us through a few of the important sections, and we'll provide links as ever in the show notes. So, Sue, I think first of all, you wanted to start case studies?
Yeah, the case studies are great if you're wanting to almost deep dive into what other people have done. So generally our case studies will be about one project. So where a client has done a study with us and looked at an aspect of their operation. It covers what we did, what they were trying to achieve, and then what was the results of as a consequence of all that work. So it's really good if you're trying to think about what will be the business case for a particular project. So when you've already got a project in mind, it's a good one to drill into and find out what somebody else's experience was.
Okay, so that's case studies, and then we've got more generalist. We've got white papers, haven't we? And I know there's a number of them on there.
Yes, so we've got a number of white papers that are broader. So they cover topics like improving productivity, workload modelling, that sort of thing. And they give you more of a broad introduction to the topic. And they do feature case studies, but they've got multiple case studies. So it gives you a number of different views of how people have been tackling that area. So if you're at the stage where you're still thinking about what you should be doing and want to get some general learning about what other people have done, then the white paper is a great place to start because it gives you a bit of background that hopefully will be useful along with some multiple case studies. So if you're still narrowing down your options, it's a really good place to start.
And as well as also the book, isn't there? So Every Second Counts, we've done a whole mini-series discussing each chapter a while ago, but that's a good place for people to download and maybe find the right chapter that's relevant for them.
Yeah, so the premise of the book was, what are the things that we're most frequently asked? What's the most frequently asked questions that we face? So each chapter is based around those, which are essentially business problems that lots of people will be facing. And within that, it'll have some information, some theory around kind of what it is and how it affects the business. There are also multiple case studies in there. There's also ideas on things like quick wins. So if you're just starting to look at it, where you might get some quick wins on your own. So if you've got a topic that you're looking at, again, a really good place to look, some general information combined with case studies of what other people have done.
And all this is under the Learn section on the website. We've also got link to sign up to the Productivity Forum, 10th September in Birmingham this year, and then we'll announce next year's. Every single podcast episode's on there. So I think there's about 200 plus episodes now of the Productivity Podcast. We've touched on it before, Sue, but there's also information about the Rethink Academy.
Yes, so the Academy is more if you want to get into doing things at a much deeper level. So you can train to be an industrial engineer. We're also offering an Introduction to Productivity course, which is more intended for people in perhaps something like retail operations or where your job is to find opportunities. So it's to give you some background. It's really all the things that I wish I'd known when I was first starting on my productivity career a long time ago now. So that's a really useful one. 2 days for some general information to help you get set up. And whether you're new to it, so looking to learn some stuff, or actually you're just wanting a bit of a fresh perspective, really useful way to do that. A similar one for workload models, so for people that are involved in modelling, which goes into kind of the theory behind modelling and, where you get your times from and all those sorts of things. But importantly also covers thinking about the model as a strategic tool, how you manage change from it, how you use it internally and keep stakeholders on board and all that sort of thing. So it's not just kind of adding up numbers. It's much wider than that about, as I say, its use as a business tool. And then we also do a course in method study, which is more of a deep dive into if you've got a particular process that you want to look at and you want to learn a new technique to look at it, then the 5-day method study course is a good one to do.
And we shouldn't forget all the MTM courses as well that sit alongside, so that that different methodology. And again, we've done a couple of mini series on MTM and a recent one with Peter Coolen from the German MTM Association. So listen to those if you want to get into the detail. There's a new
a top line. Those MTM courses are for, I always think of them as deep dive movement analysis. So when you want to really drill down into the small movements and what difference that makes. So it can either be something that's quick, that's too fast to to visually observe and record the times. So it's useful for those things. It's also really useful for things where you want to set up something like a workstation to make everything's as close as it can be so that you've got a workstation properly set up. But there's lots of different applications of that. But yes, useful to have some training in it too.
Absolutely. And there's a general news section which brings all this together, so you can filter by white papers, podcast, book, news, and obviously we publish monthly articles. You can also sign up for our monthly newsletter as well. So it's all there on the website. We'll pull it together with links in the show notes so you can easily access. Sign up for the newsletter, sign up for the forum if you've not registered, because we're not far away now. A couple of updates on the podcast. So we're pausing the basket and barometer one for a while. So Di's done a great job keeping us up to date. We're going to pause that for a while. We've got Hedo Hogg and the Machines. So episode 1 of that's gone out. That'll be every kind of 6 weeks with Ed Hogg. We've got some guests coming on over the next couple of months. And then we've also got a couple of other continuous series that we'll announce over the coming weeks. So lots happening in the world of productivity and rethink. Any final words to add, Sue?
Just for those that haven't listened to Hedo Hogg and the Machines and are wondering what on earth it is, it's actually you talking to Ed Hogg about AI, isn't it, and how it can, where it's at. So it's really useful. There's obviously loads of stuff in the press and all over the place about AI, but to hear something that's really specific to how it's being used in retail and hospitality, I don't think there's many places you can get that, and it was an interesting conversation. And it's part of a series, I think, so I don't know where you're going next with it.
Well, every 6 weeks. So much happens in the world of AI. 6 weeks will give us a lifetime of conversation. My job's to keep Ed simple. Ed's job is to keep it simple and give us all the relevant information of how your chat GPTs, your Geminis, your Claudes, etc. are moving and what that means in real terms. Flash 3.6 to 3.7. So what does that actually mean for people using it? And I think we'll start exploring more of the practical applications. There's been lots of headlines, and we talk about it in episode 1, companies equipping frontline colleagues with co-pilots and that kind of stuff. But again, it comes to the so what. So what difference is it making? Or actually, is it just marketing publicity and it doesn't really follow through into action? So it's interesting. It'll evolve as we get used to it as well, but it's such a fast-moving area that 6 weeks is an eternity.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we'll pause there for Productivity Pulse episode 9, and the 3 of us, because James will be back off holiday, will be back next month. Thanks, Sue.
Thanks. Bye.